You're listening to Navid Moosa of the Mindset Movement. Good day, good people. My name is Navid Moosa. I'm your host today and always for the Mindset Movement. First-time listeners, thanks for giving us the opportunity to earn your trust. We know there's a lot of information out there, yet you choose to listen to us, and we appreciate that. Long-time listeners, thanks for loyalty. Really appreciate it. We love you guys just as much, if not even more. Each and every week, we try to bring you guys value here about being the best version of you, being the better business person, being an independent business person in general overall. We just want to see you succeed. So this week we get into it just like every other week. We waste no time. So I want to talk about sneak attack learning. Now, it's not a real thing, it's not a real phrase, but it's something I call it. That's what I call it. I call it sneak attack learning. And here's why I call it that. You ever notice sometimes when, like, let's say you're at work and your boss says, hey, let's have a meeting, and it's, whatever day of the week. If you know what the meeting is about, you're going to be best prepared for it, right? So you're going to give hopefully all the right answers. If it's a meeting that, hey, can I see you in my office real quick kind of ordeal, you get defensive. They're like, oh shit, what happened? Am I getting fired? Did I do something wrong? They see me when I left 15 minutes earlier last week. Like, what happened? Right? So when we get those pop-up meeting requests, if you will, from our supervisor or boss, or however you want to phrase it, it's like a guessing game. We don't know what's happening. We don't know what's going on. And it's either one or two things going to happen. It's either fight or flight, right? We're either going to go ahead and give an honest to God, truthful answer, whatever they may ask us, or we may just straight up lie, which is your flight. Straight up lie about it and deny everything or whatever, right? So what I decided to do with my kids was, when I tell my kids, hey, I'm gonna talk to you about something, or hey, we're gonna do this, they kind of know something's coming. Like, they're gonna get some kind of speech from me about being, a leader, being a good student, being how they can be the best, whatever, the best version of whatever I want to talk about. But I noticed that they were kind of expecting it, like if it was at the dinner table or if it was at a certain time of day or a certain day of the week. So they were anticipating it. So I'm like, okay, let me kind of just catch them off their game. So, and literally what I would do is catch them off their game. They would play a video game and I would say, hey, and I call them up. I'm like, hey, Isaiah, can I talk to you real quick? And like, yeah, sure. They pause their game. They come up. I'm like, okay, when you want to be a leader, here's what leaders do. And then it just catches them off guard, right? And so what I noticed is when I would do things like that, when I would have discussions about kind of like my plans for them, if you will, they would actually listen. Because before, when I would do something, it was like, okay, Dad's going to talk to us about this. And so I've got to make sure, whatever. And then they would already kind of mentally prepare themselves for it after the discussion, after the talk. Where if I would just do the sneak attack learning, just call them up real quick for something, but actually not be real quick about it, they became more engaging. They became more engaging. So I decided to take that to the workplace, right? So I would ask questions to the team members about something that are not in team meetings. I would ask you, just walk them by, oh, hey, real quick, or whatever. And they were doing something, and you can just tell they were kind of flustered, not in a bad way. Well, yeah, a little bit bad way, but they were flustered initially because it was like, give me a second, I'm in the middle of this real quick. Okay, yeah, fine, knock it out. And that was it. And so it was really just when they weren't prepared for me to talk to them or ask them a question, I would get more of an honest answer. And it's not that they would lie to me or anything like that. It's just that I would get a more honest answer within themselves about that topic, right? So if I would ask, hey, where are we at with these follow-ups or these appointments or whatever, it was like, yeah, I'm working on them right now. Yeah, okay, fine. But then if I would say, well, yeah, this follow-up here needs to get done, or, if I would just make a comment, they're like, oh, shit. And they would drop their guard. I'm like, oh, I was supposed to get to, and I didn't. I got whatever the case may be, and that's fine. It happens. I'm not perfect on my follow ups and keeping up with certain things. I'm not by such imagination. I'm not at all. However, I think sometimes my team members were giving me answers that they wanted me to hear to make me feel comfortable and confident that they were handling it, and they were, maybe not as fast as I wanted them to, but they were. And so they were giving me those answers that they thought I wanted to hear. Um, but it's what I really wanted them to see was, here's who you guys really are. You're, you're gonna have issues. You're gonna have things where you aren't able to get stuff done. And that's fine. But when it doesn't get done, you can't forget about it. How do you bring it back into the fray of things so you get the task accomplished? When you do sneak attack learning, um, it it does a couple of things. It gives you, as a leader, supervisor, manager, whatever role you want to call yourself, uh, a good picture of where your organization is or your family is. And they're both in the same. Uh, Hopefully, it gives an insight to the person themselves, so they see where their pluses and minuses are, in their tasks and goals or whatever it is they want to do. So it puts the guard down as well, and it kind of really gives you a true picture as a whole. Where do you stand at? Where are you going? Is it realistic that this goal has been set? Is it realistic of the time frame, and so on and so forth? So by, again, in my opinion, by implementing this sort of impromptu learning, sneak attack learning, um, it does give you a true picture of who and how you are as a leader. And hopefully it gives a true picture to the person you're dealing with, an insight to themselves on where they are really at when it comes to whatever there is they're trying to accomplish. So um, that's what I got for you guys. Sneak attack learning. Um, I learned from it. I like it. I've been doing it for a couple of years. I just kind of moved it from family to life, or from life to work, if you will. And it's worked out pretty decent. I think so. It's freshly new, and I just thought I would share that with you guys, saying, "Hey, here's something I've been doing that's been working. Hopefully, it works for you guys, not just at home, but in the workplace as well." So that's it. That's what I got. That's all. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. First time listeners, if you did, great, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, share us. If you didn't, give us an opportunity next week. We really appreciate it. Each and every week I end the show the same way. Just take care of the client. Take care of the client, do right by the client, everything else will fall into place. I promise you. Just take care of the client. Sometimes the client is you. Just do right by the client, take care of the client, and everything else will fall into place. I promise you that. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, be good to each other, be good to yourselves, be safe out there. Have a great week. I will talk to you guys next week. See ya.